Hello there, my name is Tenarium and welcome to Tenarium and Tryinmorning Talk Visual Novels. I have here, right with me, the beautiful co-host that is Patrick.
Yes, in the flesh, or, well, you know what I mean.
Yeah, I mean in the audio.
In audio case, format.
They can enjoy a massive, avatar of you on the screen though. So they've got that going for them.
Close enough.
Yes, exactly. And how are you doing on this fine... I always want to say like summer's or winter's morning, but it's not. It's like, 10 to 11 for me and like the late afternoon for you. So how are you doing on this sort of vague late afternoon?
I'm doing quite alright. It's a bit cooler here, even though it's June, but it's fine. My allergies are finally starting to relent a little bit, which has been terrible all spring.
Oh, God. I didn't realize you were an allergies person.
Yeah, I get those. It's a pain.
Oh, see, a little bit of trivia about me. I'm making this about me, right? Because it's me.
Of course.
But I only have one allergy, and I shit you not, it's to soap.
Really?
I can't wash dishes. I have to use, like, special soap in the shower. I can't use any of that, like, shower gel stuff. Lynx makes you irresistible. I mean, it would make me irresistible in a way that, like, tears the skin off my bone. Which I've heard isn't too attractive.
No, probably not.
Yeah, and I was just talking to you. I came back from a tennis club. But I was speaking there. I did meet up with my South American gay friend. So that makes me progressive. So you're welcome, Tumblr. When the revolution starts, just keep me in mind. That's all I'm saying. Just keep me in mind.
Yes, I'm sure they'll appreciate that.
Yes, exactly. So, people who are watching this episode will already know that I'm about to do something a bit odd, something I haven't done before. So, before we get the news, I had this random idea. Right. Patrick, we're visual novel people, right? We're supposed to know a lot about visual novels, aren't we?
Sure, keyword being supposed to, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. I'd consider myself a vague, and I used this term very loosely, critic. You don't quite go that far, but you still have a visual novel YouTube channel and a visual novel podcast. So, yep. Stands to reason, should know a lot about visual novels.
Yeah.
So, what if I told you that I have a 23 question questionnaire about visual novels?
Fuck me. This is what you came up with. Great.
Yeah, this is what I came up with. I hasten to add, I just told Patrick on on Wednesday or Tuesday, I have this wonderful surprise for you. And this is what I've spent doing. I have made a visual novel quiz. And we're going to put you to the test, but it's fine because you know a lot about visual novels.
Oh yeah, I'm just an encyclopedia of knowledge on these.
Yeah, exactly. So there are 23 questions. For every question you get right, it's 1 point. So you can play at home as well. And, do tell us how well you did. 23 questions in all. To make sure that they're not too harsh and evil, the questions, I did run them by through a few people. JP, he did shockingly at this. He got half of them. So I'll be honest, he should be doing better, but he didn't. Although then again,
well for me.
Yeah, but I asked Chief, he fucking knew every single one bar one. So, and that one he didn't know, you should get. So, are you ready for the visual novel quiz?
All right, let's start this up. See where this goes.
Sweet. So, the first question, what is the most popular English visual novel ever? These are all, hang on, I have to say, rules, no patches, it has to be an original English language visual novel, and it has to be a Windows PC. So it doesn't count if it came onto like PSP in 2007, right? We're not counting those. It has to be on Windows. So the most popular ever English visual novel, what do you reckon it is?
Is it the one on Steam? Or just in general?
These are all according to the ratings and popularity on VNDB.
Oh shit, I don't know that then. I'll just guess along with the queen.
Okay, well this is kind of embarrassing. That wasn't even the question. That was supposed to be such an easy question that there's no way you could get it wrong.
Oh, thanks.
It's Katawa Shoujo.
Well, alright then.
That's according to VNDB, right? The popularity of the second game is 10. Katawa Shoujo is 60.
Okay, yeah, I don't really know how this works, but okay. I'll go with this.
Yeah, it's a big number. The actual question, you were supposed to just brush that off and go, oh, it's Katawa Shoujo, of course. The actual question is, what's the second, according to VNDB?
I don't know. I don't check out the VNDB statistics every night and day.
Yeah, but you should know what is a very popular visual novel.
Well, again, I'll go with something that's probably wrong. And choose... Shit. I don't even fucking know. I'll just go with the one with the queen since I said that already.
No, it's Dischan Media's Jupiter's Knot.
Yeah, I figured. That's something I never even played, so there you go.
Okay, so null point on that, unfortunately. If you did get the answer right, that is 1 point. You don't get any points at all at home if you got Katawa Shoujo, because that is a question so easy that you're not allowed to give yourself a point.
So I guess I'm not going to be able to play Plinko later today, huh?
Yeah, exactly, man. Exactly. Right, second question.
Alright, let's roll on.
Name 7 games that have been / are going to be published by Sekai Project.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Because you've been struggling so badly, I'll make it nice for you and say 5.
Okay, there's Sakura Angels.
There is.
Sakura Spirit, that was the first one in that
There
series
is.
anyway. Sakura Fantasy.
There is. Those are 3.
Toko.
Toko, that is a 4th.
Okay, just one more then.
One more.
What else have they done?
I hasten to add, just going to reiterate, Patrick had no idea this was going to happen.
Yeah, it's a great surprise. I was expecting like a hooker and a cake or something to pop out, but
Oh,
I should have figured it's Chris.
that would cost money.
Yeah. Let's see. Sekai Project. I'm not Googling any of these, that's why just
Oh,
figured I'd let you know.
yeah.
That'd be cheap.
I figured you were the kind of person who wouldn't cheat. It's fine.
Sekai Project. I don't know if I know any of them else, so I'm just going to say I don't know the 5th.
You don't know the 5th. Alright, I'll tell you what. I'll give you half a point for that.
Okay, fair.
Right, so for those wondering, this is going to be a long fucking answer, right? You could have had School Days, Narcissu, World End Economica, Sunrider First Arrival, Sunrider Mask of Arcadia, Sunrider Rebirth of the Holy Empire, Fault Milestone 1, Sakura Spirit, Planetarian, Rising Angels Reborn, that game we
That was
played.
one of them?
Yeah.
Damn it.
Sakura Angels, The Way We All Go, Fault Milestone 2, The Reject Demon Toko, what you said. Love at First Sight, The Fruit of Grisaya, Sakura Fantasy, Shiny Days, Clanad, Ame no Marginal, Kokonoe Kokoro, Moonshoot, The Labyrinth of Grisaya, Fault Silence the Pendant, I'm only halfway through, Idle Mouse Shoujo Chiru Chiru Michiru, The Eden of Grisaya, The Human Reignition Project, Paka Plus, Koenchu, The Tale of the Voice Actress, Shizuku no Oto, November Boy, No One But You, Sunrider Liberation Day, Memories, Dogma, Starlight, Vega, and Sierra Ops. You could have had any of those visual novels. Did you know any of them?
Well, a few of those, obviously. But I will say, and this is probably just my ego talking, but I'm actually quite proud that I probably don't know half of those. Given by some of the names I heard in there.
Yeah, when I found out Idle Mouse Shoujo Chiru Chiru Michiru, I'm unsure about that one. Okay, right. Here is a question I'm expecting you to do well in. Right? Name the 5 kinds of magic in Hanako Games' Magical Diary and explain what they all do.
Shit. So let's start off with
You know,
Red.
that thing you've played over several times.
Yeah, the thing that I'm still playing right now and still don't know anything about.
Yeah,
So
that's
Red
the one.
is the magic of like force or pressure. I don't know exactly what they call it. It's like an attacking magic, physical damage or whatever you want to say.
Yeah, I would have accepted destruction, evocation, and control of energy.
Yeah. blue is the magic of change, which includes things like teleportation and that kind of deal.
It is indeed.
Green is the magic of the living realm, where you can heal yourself and that kind of thing. I know they have like more specific terms for these, but obviously I don't memorize them.
Well, I've put what I can accept and then the actual thing. So red is evocation and control of energy, when essentially it's just offensive magic. Blue is change. Green is the magic of life, but I'd have also accepted just, you can heal yourself with it.
What do you have left? Okay, so there's black, which is supposed to be alchemy and changing physical objects into other objects.
Yep, I would have also accepted opening and closing.
That too. And finally we get to white, which is mind control and manipulation.
Gonna have to ask you to be a bit more specific on the white.
The white, you can basically influence minds and that kind of thing.
Yeah, alright, sure. You can speak to other beings.
Yeah.
If I was an arse, I'd give you half a point for that, because that's not quite white, but it's fine. So far, 1.5 points out of 3. It's not too bad.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, well, you're not going to get this one. There are speedruns of visual novels. Did
Really?
you know this? Yep. Yeah.
Is that the question? Because the answer is no. So I think I deserve a point for that.
No, not quite, unfortunately. There are speedruns for visual novels. What is the quickest time Wing Cloud's Sakura Spirit has been completed in? I will take a rough approximation as a good answer.
10 minutes.
10 minutes? What the...
If it's someone actually reading, or is it just someone just hitting the skip button?
Speedrun is doing everything you can to end it as quickly as possible.
Oh, fine. Then I'll say a minute.
It's 1 minute 27.
It's within 30 seconds.
I'll give you half a point. Alright. There you are. Because I'm kind of like that. Right. This is where actual knowledge comes in. This is where this starts.
If it's doing everything in your power to actually get the game over as quick as possible, isn't that just hitting the escape button or Alt F4? Which should be done by anyone?
You have to finish the game, and I don't mean finish as in just like, get it out of existence, as in you have to complete it or pass it. And that guy kind of cheated. He used an auto clicker, which is even quicker than holding down tab.
Oh, well, the things people strive for these days.
Yeah, it takes all sorts, doesn't it? Alright, question 5. What was Sakevisual's first game?
If I correct you to saying it's actually Sakevisual and not Sakevisual, do I get half a point for that?
Is it really Sakevisual?
I'm fairly certain. I mean, it'd make more sense than just Sakevisual.
Yeah, I suppose I'm from the Western world. I've always just seen that as sick. No one's ever even, corrected me on that.
Really? With all the playthroughs you've done,
they
never corrected you throughout that.
Yeah.
Well, alright.
But no, I can't give you a point.
Alright,
for
what was
that,
the question again?
What was their first game?
Ah, shit.
And it wasn't Jusei.
Yeah, I know that. Because they had that stupid little cell phone game that you played, and I don't know if that is even the first one or not, so... I mean, I'm not going to be able to recall the name, but I'll try. Is that the first one, though?
No.
Okay, so then I don't know at all.
It was Ripples.
Alright.
Yeah, I just love, just how blank that was. It was just like... Oh. Alright. Alright. Well, here's another one I'm not sure if you've played. What is the MMO that Merui loves to play in Sakevisual's Alistair?
I have no clue on that one at all.
No clue that one. You don't even want to take a guess.
Is it an actual one?
It is a parody of one. And it's not like Pearl of Porcraft.
Nah, I'm not going to be able to guess this.
Rivenwell Online. Yeah, I'm even surprised if you got it. Right, question number 7. What is the name of the uncle in Winterwolves' The Flower Shop?
It's Uncle Mugen.
It's not Uncle Mugen.
That was the best I could do, is maybe it was a tribute to him.
He is a wonderful uncle to have, is Uncle Mugen, but unfortunately he's not the one in this game. He does also appear in the sequel to The Flower Shop, Winter in Fairbrook, but the less said about that game, the better. Go on, take a wild stab in the dark. What's the name of the uncle?
Shit. Tom.
It's Sam.
All right.
Uncle Sam. That's a few zeros in a row now, Patrick.
Yeah, I noticed.
Question number 8. What is the name of the animal which randomly appears in every Zaver game?
You'd have better luck just ask me what is a Zaver game.
Oh wow, man, that's harsh. Yeah, they did X-Note, Train of Afterlife, Other Age, Second Encounter, Voices from the Sea.
Yeah, I'm just gonna guess a fox because that's like popular in Japanese things or whatever.
No, it's the Mirage Fish.
Oh, the Mirage Fish, of course. How did I not know that?
I'll be honest, if you haven't played any Zaver game, you were going to struggle with that one. Right. I went to check this question to make sure that you could feasibly know the answer. And it turns out...
As opposed to the others.
Yeah, as opposed to the others. I went through to your playthrough just to make sure that you would know, and it turns out you did the same thing I did. And see if you can guess what the game is, just with me explaining this.
All right.
So, you also decided that whilst the story went on the hiatus, this was the most fun thing to do instead. Don't know, do you? Okay. Name 3 of the mangas / books you can read in Sakura River's Fading Hearts. And there are several episodes in a row where you are reading them all.
There's... I can do this really easily. There's Prince Tale 1, Prince Tale 2, and Prince Tale 3.
No, they have...
Oh, come on.
Volumes don't count. I'm going to need more than that. There is something called The Prince's Tale, though.
There's a Princess Tale, then there's... The Guard's fucking Tale. I don't know what the fuck they call it.
No.
There's like
remember,
a couple
books count as well, not only manga.
Oh, books?
Mm-hmm.
All right, fair enough. Let's see. So there's...
I went back and installed the game for this question. I hope you know that.
Oh, I'm sure you did. Having a blight on your hard disk now. I hope it's worth it.
It was swiftly deleted, don't worry.
So they have, what was it, for the online thing, there's like... social media, what exactly do they call it?
I'll be surprised if you get that one.
Because they all have stupid little names too. So I know like what they do, like one increases your ability to help with social networking, one does the programming. Is it like databases for dummies or something stupid like that?
Yeah, I can give you that. The complete guides to databases.
See, I like my little pun on it better. Because there are those books in real life, so...
Yeah, no. But Database for Dummies would suggest this is a beginner. This book about databases, the complete guide to databases, it covers everything you could know. Yeah, there's no advanced version of that book. That is everything.
Mm-hmm. All right, and let's see. What else is there?
What you're looking for is one more, and then you get a whole point.
Oh god, I want that point so badly. I had to suffer through this game so long. Fun fact, while I'm stalling for time, you know that like the whole actual story of that game is actually inside of those books?
Oh, is it? Oh, I always joked at the time that I found the manga actually more fun to read than the story. Because the character that you're playing as, like whatever the fuck his name is, he's actually the reincarnation of like the guy those books are about. It's really stupid, and they don't tell you explicitly anywhere in the game itself. They don't tell you anything in that game. Like, spoilers for Fading Hearts, you can meet yourself and he's come from the future, and every time you ask him something, I swear his only reply is, oh, well, I don't have time to explain that. Oh, I don't really want to explain that. Oh, I'm not too keen on explaining. It's like, why are you here? But yeah, can you not get a third one?
Is it like Foundations of Programming? Something like that?
Foundations? No, that is not one.
Well, fuck me. There's something about programming, but I'm not going to be able to guess the name, so whatever.
I'll give you half a point for that question. See, wasn't that worth slugging through Fading Hearts for? Half a point in a quiz you didn't know about?
That's, like, more importance to playing the whole game than I could have done from just playing alone.
Exactly, man. Programming, by the way, was advanced programming. And the one you were trying to do with social media, the closest I can get to that is SEO, the Key to Business Success.
Oh, that's what it was, yeah.
That is a book I can't imagine actually existing. But yeah. Question number 10. Ojisiah is a game about a relationship with what?
A frog? No. I don't know. I'm just going to guess a random animal knowing some of the games that are out there, so I have no clue.
It was a polar bear.
Oh, well, at least I had that kind of theme going, so yeah.
Yeah, honestly, that game is just like one 30-minute joke. Just like
That's
one
pretty much
joke.
what all those games are.
It was impressive.
Yeah, and meanwhile, like, in the background there's a whole bunch of cries, but no, Hatoful boyfriend was actually serious.
Yeah. I had people trying to convince me that Hatoful boyfriend was serious when I played it. I was like, no, it's not. It's a game about dating birds. Shut up. Right. Question number 11. Renpai Tom released a pro version of Renpai for free on April the 1st of this year. How much did it cost and what did it add?
It was free? Didn't you just say that in the question?
No, how much did it cost before it went free?
Well, I'm guessing it didn't exist before, actually.
Shh. Right, how much did it supposedly cost before it went free? And what did it add?
I don't know. What the fuck? I don't read people's April Fool's jokes. $9.99.
No, not quite.
Whatever. And it's nothing.
It cost supposedly $299 and it added a blinged out Eileen sprite.
Of course. The infamous Eileen sprite. How could I forget?
It is exactly the same as the Renpai engine. It just has a blinged out Eileen in it who looks all gangster and ghetto and shit. Question number 12. Name something Ari tried to cook but failed at in Pirate Heart. There were 4 things. I just need one of them.
Beef.
Beef? Did you never play Pirate Heart?
No, I did not.
Did you never watch Pirate Heart?
No, I did not watch a Pirate Heart's playthrough, Chris. Sorry to spoil your ego there.
I thought you would have watched like someone play it. It was big, man, when it came out.
And when was that?
Last year sometime.
Oh, okay. No, I never played it.
You missed out on Pirate Heart, you lucky little fucker. The answer is, of course, I would have accepted pizza, chocolate torte, creme brulee, and cake.
Oh, okay.
Apparently chocolate
Pizza?
torte and cake are different. I mean, I thought they were the same thing, but whatever. Now here is a good question for you. And I'll be honest, I'm not entirely sure this is true, but I did a lot of research for this question and I couldn't find it being done otherwise. So, who is the group with the most visual novels released?
Oh shit, I just saw you talking about this on Twitter the other day.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to remember their names at all. It starts with an A, right?
It does start with an A.
And that's all I'm going to be able to get from that.
Do you want me to tell you?
Go ahead.
It is ATP Projects.
Hmm.
When his VNDB lists 29 visual novels, however, he says it is only 22. Yeah, I know. Collaborations don't count, apparently. But until someone can prove me otherwise, that's it. I asked everyone I knew, and they couldn't think of anyone who'd done more than that. Also, a bit of trivia for you. Have you ever downloaded Ren'Py before?
Actually, I have, yeah.
You have. Do you know the tutorial game inside it called The Question?
Yes, The Question.
He made that.
Oh, alright then.
So basically, like, at some point you've probably played one of his games, you just don't realise it.
There you go. The more you know.
Okay, these 3 questions right here, easy 3 points for you, I reckon. Easy.
Okay, if you say so.
Question number 14. What is the full name of the protagonist in 4-Leaf Studios' Katawa Shoujo?
The full name? I don't know his full name at all. I just know it's Hisao. That's all I know.
Do you not know his surname?
Some Japanese shit.
Some Japanese shit. Not quite. I'll give you half a point. It's Hisao Nakai.
Alright, there you go.
What does Katawa Shoujo mean in English? I expected you to know this one.
Is it like, I don't know, disabled girls or something?
Did you guess that or did you know that?
I guessed it. Why? Is that actually it?
It literally translates to cripple girls, but it has been basically assumed to mean disability girls. So well done.
All right.
I'll give you a point for that.
Okay, that's pretty cool then.
Cool,
Crippled Girls. Interesting title.
Yep. Question 16. What is the name of Hisao's condition?
Arrhythmia.
It is cardiac arrhythmia. I can only give you half... No, I'll give you a point for that. I'm not that evil. So 2.5 points out of 3 in the Katawa Shoujo section. So, question number 17. In Analog a Hate Story, what nationality were the crew?
They were South Koreans.
They were. I didn't know that. I had that question prepared for me. I don't know.
It's just how much you paid attention during
yeah.
that one.
Well, exactly. Now, question number 18. What is the best English visual novel made to date? This is a completely objective question.
Of course. The best one made to date. By Chris's standards. Let's see.
No, I said it's an objective question.
Based on who?
My thoughts.
Okay.
Objective, man. What do you need?
I'm trying to think of which one you would like best. I'm not sure. Would you say Magical Diary?
See. That's not the answer, but I would accept that for half a point if you're willing to take half a point.
What other choice do I have?
Well, you can go for broke and guess the one which gets you a whole point.
Really?
You can.
I'll take my half.
You'll take your half. If you were to take a guess, what would you reckon it was?
I would have said Roommates.
Roommates. Cinders.
Ah, alright. Glad I didn't take the risk.
Cinders, yeah, exactly. Speaking of roommates, question number 19. In Winter Wolves' Roommates, what are the 2 characters that are not available for a same-sex relationship?
Okay. I'm gonna have to try to guess as best as I can on this one. So with Max, I would assume his option that he couldn't date would be Dominic.
That is one of the right answers.
Okay. And with... Oh, this should be easy. With Anne, I would say Sally.
It is. That is the right
Isabella's
answer.
pretty... Yeah. Okay.
So, well done you. That's another point. Question number 20. In those whose name we don't speak of, because they fucked up and then tried to sort of not take full responsibility for it in a sort of weird roundabout way, Dysfunctional Systems Episode 1, what does Winter try for the first time while on assignment? And there is no chance that you know this.
Sex with a guy, I'll say.
I know you haven't played Dysfunctional Systems, so I'll give you a clue and say that it could be considered unprofessional.
Does my first guess still apply?
What was your first guess?
I said sex with a guy.
Oh, it does still apply, but it's not the right answer.
I figured. Unprofessional. Let's see. Unprofessional.
It could be considered unprofessional were you to do it in a job. On the
There's
job.
a lot of things.
Yeah. Unless you are a certain thing, in which case it's probably fine. He's stalling for time again, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, if you couldn't tell. Nah, I really don't know this one, so I'm just gonna guess he was caught with his hands in his pants there.
Alright, well first of all, you sexist, Winter is a she.
Oh, well, there you
just
go.
assumed it was a man.
A hand in her pants, same thing. Girls can do it too.
She drank lager. Or beer.
Ah, okay.
Question number 21. In the Jisei series, what American city is Edgewater based on?
Oh, is it supposed to be Seattle?
It is. How the fuck did you know that? What?
Because they had like I think they had a background which showed that, what they call it, the Space Needle or something like that at one point.
Yeah, fair enough. See, I always forget which one's shittier, Seattle and Detroit. And
Detroit by far.
Yeah, and then I say Detroit out loud and like my spine shivers slightly. It's like, oh god, it's that one. Right, question number 22. On Steam, considering we covered this when the SteamSpy stats came out and I told you what it was, what is the highest selling English visual novel?
See, this is the question where you see if I actually pay attention to when Chris speaks or not. Man, I really want to say, as I said before, Long Live the Queen.
Is that your answer, or are you just feeling it out?
But I'm not sure because I feel like fucking Sakura Spirit might have passed it, and I'm not certain. It is like a question which says, do I have faith in humanity or not? And I'm going to go with I don't. So I'm going to say Sakura Spirit.
It was Long Live the Queen.
Fuck me. That's what I get. That's what I get for not trusting
get,
people.
man. That's what you get. See, Smiters, he doesn't trust you, basically. That's what he's trying to say here. And the final question. And I know you're probably quite sad, Patrick.
I know. This is such a fun segment. Come on.
Yeah. Question number 23. What is the most downloaded free visual novel on Steam? This one you're less likely to get.
Yeah, I'm not going to know this at all. That shitty Within Without game, which I know it isn't.
You probably don't even know the game. I don't want to crush your hopes of getting this right, but you probably don't know the game.
So what was it?
Everlasting Summer.
Okay.
And that's the end of the quiz. Shall we see how well you did?
Oh yes, let's see the fun results here.
So 1.5, 2 points, 2.5 points, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6.5, 7.5, 8.5, 9.5 points out of 23.
Oh really?
I
I'm
think
shocked.
by anyone's standards, that's probably a fail on a test. See, and I noticed that those last 5 or 6 or 7 questions, they were made by JP, so you've got him to thank for that as well.
All right, I'll have to send him my thank you.
So do let us know how you did in the visual novel test.
Oh yeah, do let me know. I'm looking forward to seeing how badly I've
Yeah,
gotten beaten.
because basically, you know that everyone who got lower than you is going to lie and say they got higher than you. And everyone who did get higher than you is going to be smug and say they got higher than you. So that was fun, wasn't it?
Yes, and now I begin to plot my ways to get revenge.
We all like surprises, basically. And
Oh, of course.
mine just so happens to be testing your knowledge as a visual novel critic.
Which I do not claim to be.
Yeah, something you've never claimed to be. So should we get on with the actual show now?
Oh yeah, we have quite a bit of news to get to, which I know you're eager to talking about because some of it's kind of interesting.
Yeah, some of it is kind of interesting. We'll get the, let's face it, grim bit out of the way first. Desura is
Play some
closing
taps.
down. Yeah. Developers have been complaining about not being paid for a while, and this just came out today. Like, I came back from the tennis club, and I just saw it on Twitter. So, just come out today. Desura is closing down. So, Steam probably seems like the best place for visual novels if you can get on there. If not, Itch.io definitely seems like the best place to go at this point. I've seen, like, when I was just like looking for stuff to play a while ago, Desura would just be my go-to place if I just wanted to play a random visual novel, because that's where they all hung around. That's probably now just going to change to Itch.io. You can, I think, find all of Sign ITs on Itch.io as well. Itch.io generally have that thing where, you can either pay for something or just go, no thank you, take me to the download so you can get it for free. Most of them are on there doing that, so, they're free as well. But unfortunately, grim news and terrible for, well, everyone really. I don't think anyone comes out of it winning. People haven't been paid, and then people probably can't pay them back, but we don't know anything at this point, but I'm going to presume that's the way it's going to go. And then, the next bit of news, Steam have changed their refunds policy. So now you can play something for 2 hours, and if you don't like it, you can request a refund instead. Now, there was a lot of sort of reaction to this, because basically a lot of EVNs are quite short. I mean, you and I have played a fair few on Steam, haven't we?
Yeah, a number of the ones we've done on this show have been under 2 hours. I'd say the majority.
Yeah, exactly. Something like Rising Angels, I think, was just about clocking in around that. Toko was about, what, an hour and a half?
Mm-hmm.
I seem to recall. Coming out on top, that will probably go on Steam at some point. How long was that? What,
I'd say
2
probably about the
hours?
same length, unless you were trying to do multiple paths.
Yeah, exactly. But, like 2 hours. So, obviously, a bit worried that someone could just play the game and then ask for a refund. This is where I'm hoping that everyone will start putting in, like, how far, like, completion achievements for Steam, basically, so you can see how far someone's got before they've gone, right, anyway, lol, I ain't going to do it anymore. And most people, if they get that far, are probably wanting to get through to the end. There is another problem with visual novels, but it's one I'm not going to say. The people that do know an issue will know what I mean. And I hate being a cryptic little wanker, alright? But honestly, it's better if you don't know. There's no way of others saying it like that. So, what are your sorts of, like, thoughts on the refunds policy? Do you think it'll have an effect on EVNs? Do you think that people will just play through and try and ask for refunds? Because as much as my sort of outlook on life is cynical and just, everyone's a wanker until proven otherwise, I don't think that'll really happen. You'll always get your own, like, rotten eggs, but
I'll say this. I'll say I think it's stupid for Steam to outright guarantee if you do under 2 hours, you'll get a refund like they do in the policy. I think they should be a bit more...
It does say that if you abuse it, you can't do it. Yeah, that
for sure. But, like, when you first read the policy, it says, oh, as long as you played under 14 days and under 2 hours, you should get a refund. And there's some cases where there'll be exceptions, but I think outright saying the 2 hours is kind of silly. And that they probably shouldn't have used an exact amount of time saying, oh, 2 hours, you'll be good. But yeah, I do have to agree, I don't think it's really going to have much of an effect. I would think if people are going to be abusing this, they'll be caught pretty quickly. And the fact is, if...
I just kind of think that... Sorry, Patrick. Like,
yeah, go ahead.
People who are abusing this to essentially just get a free game, they're the scum who are already pirating.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah. They don't need to make them... Well, obviously, you get the... I've said before, right, you get two kinds of pirates. You get the... It's like people use adblock, right? People just goes, yeah, look, I use adblock. I don't really want to pay. And, and I don't really want to pay for this game. I'm a bit of an arsehole. That's fine, look, whatever. It's the people who do it and then try and justify their reasons for it. That annoys me.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I just kind of think that people will stick to... pirating it if they want to be a bad egg.
Yeah, that's pretty much what's going to happen. I don't really think the refund thing's going to be that much of an issue.
Yeah, exactly. So, I've spoken to a few people who think it will be. I just kind of think it won't be as long as Steam.
If
someone's completed the game, has got the achievement for completing the game, requests a policy, a refund, and you can go, no, you completed the game. I'm not giving him a refund. Like, you completed the game. As long as you can do that, that's fine. If you can't do that, that's shit. And quite frankly, silly. But refunds are always good for the consumer. I mean, EA had it for ages, and GOG have it as well. Steve was the only one who hadn't quite caught up yet. So, yeah, I think that's it for news. See, the problem with news is that when you get all of your news from Twitter and, you know, reading through the lovely shitpost that is 4chan, not much comes up. But when it does, it's amusing because it's all drama. But that's all the news for this this week. Shall we go on to games?
Yeah, that's right, because we didn't play too many games this week.
We didn't. We thought we'd get some more, but basically, I just wanted to fill it out with the surprise that Patrick loved.
And it was the best ever.
It's the best. I bet it's better than anything you've ever been given in your life.
Yeah, exactly. I don't get much, guys.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, I'm not competing against much. Like, I'm competing against the occasional packet of crisps.
Right, so the games that we played this week, should I get right to the first one, or you want to talk about them first, what we did?
Well, you can say the games we played. People can just look in the description and see them. So I'm sure it's fine if we mention them all now.
Right, so the first one we played was Nachtigal, followed by Basiliska, and... oh, fuck me, I said it wrong. So we actually did Nachtigal, Dear Mariko, and Basiliska. And once again, as usual, we'll be trading off on who covers what. So the first game I'm going to talk about is Nachtigal. And Nachtigal is a game which is made by... shit, now I've drawn a blank.
Cyanide Tea.
Cyanide Tea.
They're the people who did the Blind Griffin and Taradin. That one I always struggle with pronouncing.
You see, what happened here was I had actually a window open with everything in it, but then I closed it because I didn't want to be tempted to cheat during the test. So now my notes are gone, aside from what I have here in my WordPad. But yeah. So Nachtigal is a game where you assume the role of this character named Miranda. And Miranda is traveling abroad in Belgium when she gets lost hiking in the woods at night.
Right, can I just stop you there? I giggled when I read that. Like, as a European, the idea that someone would see Belgium and go, wow, what an incredible cultural country I have to go and visit. It's Belgium. How much do you know about Belgium, Patrick, other than waffles?
Yeah, next to nothing.
Yeah, exactly. And obviously, you know, like Brussels and all that important politics shit, right?
Yeah.
No one knows anything about Belgium. You have Netherlands, which is right by it. It's so close. It's a cycle ride away, and you're like, nope, I like Belgium. What the fuck is wrong with you? But yeah, sorry, go on.
So this girl, Miranda, she's walking through the woods lost at night when she comes upon a castle. And she decides to approach this castle, and upon touching the door, it just opens up on its own. So she has the brilliant idea of going inside the castle and calling out to see if anyone's inside. No one responds at first, so she then decides, further more brilliance, to go looking around inside the castle to see if anyone's around. Well, she eventually does find someone, and when she sees them, they're leaning over a girl with blood dripping out of their mouth. So, rightfully so, she finally panics at this prospect, and she backs out of the room, turns to run away, but then she runs straight into another pale-looking man. And at this point she realizes that these men are vampires, and one of them knocks her out or bites her, I'm not sure which one it was. And she faints, and upon coming to, they're debating about what to do with her. The red-haired vampire is called Luca, and he wants to kill Miranda at first. The dark-haired one is called Adrian, and he decides that he doesn't have the authority to kill Miranda on his own because the rest of his family is away, and I guess they're higher up than he is.
He's called Adrian. He has never had any sort of authority in his life.
Yes.
That's no offense to any Adrians, but if you're a vampire and the best name you can muster up is Adrian, like you're not the best vampire going. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I guess so. So at this point, the two of them decide that they're going to keep the girl around for the 22 days that their family is going to be gone for, and that once the rest of them gets back, they'll decide her fate. So the rest of the game is about you, Miranda, going around the mansion during this time and getting to know the vampires, and eventually you might get involved with one of them in a romantic level. And it depends on what you choose, but the ending you get can range from you getting absolutely murdered to being involved with one of the vampires. Which is, pretty standard for these kinds of games. Obviously you have a variety of choices, which all the other games they've made are kind of similar to this, where you got a few different endings which range from good to bad, and a number of things can happen in between.
How did you find it overall, though? Because you've been rather objective so far.
Overall, the beginning was kind of annoying, because, and I saw you saying this on Twitter, and I agreed immediately. The protagonist is just absolutely stupid. She just goes right into this house, and she's all fine with it, and doesn't think twice about, oh, is anyone going to catch me? Am I going to get arrested for just breaking into someone's house? Upon finding out they're vampires, she's very... I wouldn't know how to describe it. She's very dumb. She just doesn't think that this is going to be a bad situation, that she could come to harm. And in fact, you can get killed right away in the beginning of the game if you choose the wrong options. But she's just blissfully unaware that she's in all this danger.
Yeah, basically what I sort of likened it to in my head is, do you remember when we were talking about, a couple of weeks back, the Rejectee and Toko? And there's this point where Toko leans over to Nadia and says, I'm going to reap your soul, I'm going to kill you. And Nadia just sort of rolls over and goes, oh, of course you are, and goes to sleep. That's what the whole of the beginning was like. It was like someone who's so painfully stupid, not realizing in how much danger there are, and it's really difficult to play as really... The only way a stupid person could be fun is if it's sort of unpredictable. You're not quite sure what they're going to do because their thought patterns don't follow it. But if you're just playing someone who's really stupid and completely oblivious to danger, it's kind of annoying. Like, especially after she decides, they essentially speak of her like a pet, and then they're talking about killing her and so on. And then you're just like, oh, well, I better smile because, well, there's not much else I can do. I can't run away, can I? Haha, may as well enjoy it. It's like, you were there when he was eating someone, right? Your brain was there, right? I did see that. You walked into him eating someone, and then they're talking about killing you. And then they're just going to keep you alive until the family comes along, and then just probably kill you. Why are you so painfully happy?
Yeah, I don't really get this whole blissfully unaware character thing. Like, I don't absolutely hate it, but I just don't understand, why you'd have a character that way.
Oh, so yeah, and for you, you don't hate it, you can get over it. It ruins a game for me, just because I know how dull it's going to be. I know it's just going to be someone who goes from one dangerous situation to the other, not realizing how bad it was, blissfully unaware of how stupid they are, and nothing's going to happen because of it. Grumble, grumble, grumble.
But I will say for the rest of the game, because I was able to get past that beginning there, I did enjoy the story developments after that, where you start to get to know the two vampires better and what their backstory is. And, kind of like the same thing with the game we played before, Blind Griffin. There's quite a few twists in their storylines where you learn a bit more about them, especially with Adrian, so I'm not going to say exactly what the twist is, but it was interesting. And I kind of like that they had all this development put into these characters. It wasn't just bland and uninspired. There was actually character development there.
Yeah,
I mean, the girl herself...
At no moment did any of the vampires look wistfully into the distance and claim that life was too hard and they were bored, etc.
Mm-hmm. I mean, a lot of times I'm kind of dissatisfied with the main characters in these games, but they're just kind of more meant to be something for you to use to interact with the other characters. Like Miranda, I don't really care for, obviously. And I didn't think she was that great of a protagonist, you know, even as the game goes on and it does develop more. She doesn't really change much throughout the course of the story, so I can't say I really liked her as a protagonist, but I did like the other two characters.
Yeah, exactly. Also, but this game, not as diverse a cast as the Blind Griffin.
Oh, I guess not.
Yeah, everyone was pretty much just a white male.
Well, it's Belgium. It's like
But
the people that complain about The Witcher. It's like, well...
Oh god, why did you say that? We've done so well. No one knows anything about our political preferences or where we stand on any major issue.
No, we soiled that.
Yeah, god damn it. Nah, for the record, I stand on the anti-arsehole side. I follow Mike Biffle on Twitter. I follow Jim Sterling on Twitter. I also follow Total Biscuit on Twitter. I like them all. God forbid. Did you know, Patrick, that you can actually not have to take sides? You can be in the medium.
Yeah, that's what I tend to do.
Yeah, I know. You wouldn't think it half the time. You think you have to be on a side, but isn't that fun? But yeah, so
I just like to practice common sense.
Oh, God forbid. But yeah, no, like Nachtigal, it was it was alright. It's just Natalie. Jeez, I'm not that posh. Natalie was, her name was no, it's not even Natalie.
Miranda.
It's Miranda. I don't know where I've got Natalie from. Where have I got Natalie from?
I don't know. There's probably another game where there's a Natalie, but I don't remember what it was.
There isn't. Oh, God knows. Whatever. But yeah, Miranda aside, it's good. It's just a shame you have to constantly play as Miranda. So, shall we move on to our next game?
Sure.
Okay, well, our next game is Dear Mariko by Soya Sushi Productions. I probably pronounced that wrong. But for those that don't know who that is, they made Reprints of Nigeria, which was this amusing little comedy game about how you fall in love with a Nigerian scammer and, you know, he's just like, oh, send me your details, and, you know, you sort of reply, oh, but why? And, you know, you fall in love with him eventually, and you should play that game. You should go to Reprints of Nigeria now, and you should play that game.
Right after this episode's done.
Right after this episode's done. Dear Mariko... Not so sure. It's made an RPG Maker. It's on a 800 by 600 window. Because I forgot we're in 2008. So that's the thing. So, gonna say it now. Spoilers. I'm going to spoil this game. Because
all 5 minutes.
Yeah, all 5 minutes of it. I'm going to spoil this game if you want. You can pause this video now. You can download Dear Mariko, you can play it, and then you'll be in the knowledge of what I'm talking about. And you can tell me if I'm wrong. Patrick and I, we don't speak about the games before we do this. I had to ask him about this game just to make sure that I wasn't missing something blatantly obvious. And he agreed with me, basically. So, you start off, you come into a house, you look around, and you get, you see this letter, and it's addressed to Mariko, and it says, Mariko, I'm going to have to leave you. There's that crazy woman who keeps, you know, getting mental, and eventually she's going to kill you. So you read this. Now, at this point, I just sort of left the house, and, you know, the character goes in a little eulogy about how it was never meant to be anyway, so it's fine. Like, he left, whatever. You can see where the plot twist is going, can't you? It's not, you know, Sixth Sense sort of stuff. So, what I found eventually is that if you interact with everything in the room, and then try and go to another room again, you hear a knock on the door, and it's sort of a sadistic knock, you know, get louder and louder, and you go, oh shit, that's not... What was the guy called? I want to say, like, Darian?
Yeah, it's Darian or something like that.
Yeah, Darian. And you're like, oh god, that's not how Darian normally knocks. And so you realise, oh shit, okay, I've got like 15 seconds to hide. So the first thing I did, I went to hide in a chest, a sort of chest wardrobe thing, just by the letter. Now this girl comes in, and she's got like a knife, and she's sort of like slowly laughing to herself, asking where Darian is. She sees this letter, she laughs maniacally, like in between crying and laughing, and then opens the wardrobe where you're in and kills you, stabs you, right? So then, like, after all this sort of, you know, weird thing, after she's just like moving through slowly with knocking at the door with a knife, right? You can, once you hear her knocking, you have 15 seconds, you can rush to the cutlery drawer to grab a knife, and then you can... What else is it you have to do? Do you hide in the bathroom?
I'm not sure if it makes a difference where you hide at that point, but yeah, I went to the bathroom anyway.
Okay, yeah, regardless. Once you get a knife, you can get it, and she then finds you, and then you kill her. The twist is that you weren't Mariko. The person coming in was Mariko, the normal person who was in a relationship with Darian. We were the crazy one.
Mm-hmm.
Now, seems like a very good concept until you realised, hang on a second. Hang on a second. So, Mariko, the normal one, went into her own home with a knife, laughing maniacally, saw the letter, went even more crazy, and then stabbed me. If I don't have a knife, in which case I kill her and then go a bit mental. But I'm like, what? That's not a plot twist. That's... my brain's still trying to get over it. You can hear it sort of clunking around. I'm like, that's not a plot twist though. You've made it seem like you have to try and, in order for there to be a twist, you have to make it seem like something that it's not. So she's the girlfriend, but you have to make her out like she's the crazy one. But when you're supposed to make out like she's the crazy one, you're not supposed to make her the crazy one. Like, Patrick, do tell me, did I miss something?
No, that's definitely something that bothered me as well when I was playing it, because the whole game, I was kind of expecting there to be something that would be off in this game due to the nature of it being advertised as, you know, a creepy, eerie game. So I was waiting for something like that to happen. But yeah, it was really weird because you go out throughout the house, you comment on things, and, you know, it kind of rubs you the wrong way, at least when I was playing. Like, it doesn't seem like she's really part of this house. So that's what kind of gave it away for me as well. And then when I finally got to the ending where, you know, she comes in, because I did the same thing as you. I initially I walked out, and at first I was like, is there more to this game? I had to look up how to actually do it. So I'm like, oh, okay. Went back and did it.
I at least didn't have to do that. I knew there was going to be something different I was just clearly missing out on.
Mm-hmm. And then when I went back and did that, I was like, yeah, did Darian also happen to have a crazy girlfriend as well? Because she seems absolutely off her rocker. As you mentioned, all the ways she gets the knife, she's threatening to kill you. I mean, even though, yeah, obviously she's going to be upset about this thing, but...
But,
you know,
she supposedly doesn't know that Darian has left
Mariko she immediately just knows
when
somehow.
She comes in. That's the point. That's why when she reads the letter, she goes even more crazy. She doesn't know... well, it's the way I interpret it. She doesn't know that Darian has left her before she comes in the house. However, she walks into the house with a fucking knife. Like, absolutely mental. It's like, but sure, like, you have to make it seem like she's the bad one, otherwise this plot twist doesn't work. However, she is the bad one. She's walked into a house with a knife. laughing, asking, Darian, where are you? Like, unless they're into some fucking kinky shit, it makes no sense. And then so kinky that apparently she's just like, oh, fuck it, I'll make a snuff film if I find anyone else here and just kill them.
Yeah, it's really silly.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense, basically. It's odd, because after playing Reprints of Nigeria, that was really done quite cutely, because I can't spoil it too much, but basically it turns out the main character is somewhat more self-aware than you were originally led to believe. And that's all I can say about that. This one just wasn't. This one was just like, right, okay, I've got an idea, don't know how to do it, I'll address that later.
Yeah, that's really what it seems like. This whole game was made around this one idea of this having this twist, and then it wasn't even fully fleshed out or thought through.
Yeah, exactly. There's nothing more you can say about it, just because it's 10 minutes, 10 minutes, and doesn't make any sense. So, do you want to move on to the next one?
Yeah, sure thing. So the final game that we played was Basiliska. And this is a visual novel which, it didn't start off the most promising way for me, because it immediately begins with a black screen and a wall of text, and I'm like, uh-oh, where's this going?
Yep. It's also, I need to correct you, it's not a visual novel, it's a kinetic novel.
Oh, that's right, it's a Kinect novel.
No choices to be had here. This also was on the best-ofs of the VNs Now last year.
So immediately... Oh, go on. You want to say something?
No. By all means, go on.
Okay, so immediately, like I said, the game begins with a black screen of text, and it describes this character named Cecily, who's arrived to this region that becomes known as the colonies, as opposed to the mainland. And upon arriving, she sets up this apothecary shop in the forest outside of town. And Cecily's noted by the townspeople because she wears a blindfold at all times, and she has this mysterious backstory, and there's all sorts of rumors about her and what she did and why she's here now. And despite all this, she has a business which does quite well because she sells exotic goods and stuff that people need. Somewhere along in the story, I forgot where exactly, but they mentioned that there's also sorcerers. I'm not sure if like everyone's supposed to be a sorcerer, if only some people, like Cecily, are supposed to be sorcerers. Did you happen to notice that?
So basically I got, I think 15-20 minutes in and quit.
Okay, so you don't know.
I have no idea. The transitions between scenes, this is always something that I personally, when writing, have struggled with. It's sort of like difficult to transition with the scenes. This just didn't bother. You'd end the conversation and suddenly you're just like a week in the future. It's like, when the fuck did that happen?
Yeah, that wasn't exactly subtle.
And I could also see, because the witch constantly wears a blindfold, I was seeing some sort of like Phantom of the Opera scenario coming around. And someone was somehow going to catch someone doing it, and it was probably going to come out in unfortunate circumstances. And it's kinetic novel, so we don't get to decide how it goes out. Am I right?
Well, given that the name is Basiliska, and I immediately made the connection that she's supposed to be kind of like a basilisk who would petrify people if she looked at them. I think that's kind of thing. It's kind of like a Medusa type scenario.
Yeah, honestly, I didn't even think... Until you said I made the connection, I was like, oh, right, snake, petrifying. Yeah, didn't think of that.
So, yeah, I'll just briefly sum up the rest of the story. So it's set in Cecily's shop. Pretty much the entire story is set in Cecily's shop. And it revolves around conversations between three characters. Cecily, Orson, and this young woman named Thea, I think it was. And so...
yeah, I think you're right. Thea seems about right.
Yeah, and so the whole game, it's just basically these three characters interacting and learning about each other's backstories, and you're supposed to learn their backstories through them, which I kind of have a problem with, but I'll get to a bit later. So initially, this character, Orson, comes in and he gives Cecily a letter saying that the council requests her presence back in the mainland, in a city called Sisterhain, or something weird that I can't pronounce. And
something German.
Yeah, I guess it's German, I don't know. So Cecily has no desire to return. Orson tries to persuade her, but she doesn't want to go back. She stubbornly refuses. So eventually in the scene after, which it's probably like the one that's set a week later or whatever, because they do these weird transitions like Chris mentioned, this young woman named Thea comes into the store and she asks for some goods. She's coming here in place of her mistress who's sick and can't go out. And you learn that Thea is another sorceress. Like I said, I'm not sure if everyone's supposed to be a sorcerer/sorceress or if it's just a few characters. I think it might just be a few, but...
I think it's a few because the bloke you spoke to doesn't appear to be one.
Yeah. They call him like the Sorcerer General or something. So I'm not exactly sure if he is supposed to be a sorcerer or if it's just he oversees the sorcerers. I don't know. It's a bit vague at times, this game. That's the best I could say for it. So she offers this person, Thea, that she'll be their new mistress when their old mistress dies, because she's an old dying woman. And Thea initially doesn't want to join up with her because she knows that this woman has ulterior motives. And it goes back and forth a bit, and Thea eventually does apprentice under Cecily. And from there they learn about each other's stories. You get an idea of why they act the way they do, you know, their dark past and what happened to them, and all that. I mean, if you really want to figure it out, you can play the game yourself, but... It's not a long game. It's only 30 minutes, but it's just... There's not a lot of action. The whole game is just about their backstories, and it's not very interesting to me. That's what I'll say.
Yeah, I struggle with kinetic novels at the best of times. It sort of takes away one of the things I really like about visual novels. Mm-hmm. That I can choose this and this happens instead, and suddenly I'm somewhere completely different from where I was going to be beforehand. So kinetic novels have to be fucking good for me not to get bored. And as I said, I think I got bored within like half hour. Well,
yeah, I was definitely struggling through it as well.
I must have just stopped after like 10-15 minutes halfway through. I just didn't feel like anything was happening.
That's exactly how I felt. And I was checking the clock every 5 minutes, being like, oh, when's this going to get started? When's this going to get started? But the game, and I'll say this, for what it is, for a game that takes place entirely in one location and revolves around 3 characters, there's a lot to it. They have a lot of backstory to this. There's a lot of lore. Like, they have all this story about the council and Cecily's past, which I'm not going to get into, and the politics behind that, which gets touched upon towards the end. But the thing is, none of it really happens in game. You just hear about it, so it's not really interesting.
I'd say it can be done very interestingly. The thing is, the characters have to be stellar. I mean, if you look at any sitcom, which has been done, the characters are at the forefront. Yeah, sure, there's some sort of like vague story happening in the background, but it's always the characters that are given sort of like the most interest, and this one just went on about the story quite a lot. Mm-hmm. And normally I love the story, but the story wasn't particularly interesting, and I was like, okay, well, we're in this one place the whole time, give me a reason to care about the characters, and it just didn't. I mean, like, have you ever seen Red Dwarf, for example?
No.
Okay, well, it's like a BBC English sitcom done in like the 80s and then spread through like the 90s for a bit as well. And it's about a couple of guys, and they're in a mining corporation on a ship, but some guy goes into stasis, and then there's a radiation leak, and he's the only one living, and then there's like a hologram and some other guy who survived. Right, and then they're slowly making their way back to Earth. That is pretty much the last you'll hear about that plot. It is from then on everything to do with characters. And how they develop and how they get on, and, you know, it's obviously a sitcom, so it's funny as well. I'm not saying this game has to be funny. It just has to have interesting characters. It doesn't have to be particularly endearing characters or fun or relatable, just interesting ones.
Yeah, I mean, the characters here just... like, they have their backstory, and there's a lot of drama in it, which you learn by the end of the game. Like, who Cecily's supposed to be. And, I mean, it seemed like there's supposed to be a story, but we just never get to actually see it and experience it ourselves. So it just seems kind of weird to me.
Yeah, basically. So, we've done 3 games. One of them was alright if you ignore the main character, and the other 2 weren't too great.
I would agree.
It's on my channel, as always, when we get the bad games. And then we'll do the one back on yours, and we'll just play, like, everything amazing.
That's what it seems to have been so far.
Yeah, exactly. There'll be, like, rainbows coming out of your games about how incredible they are, and then we'll just get back to my one again. It's just like, yeah, anyway. It's about a game, it's set in Birmingham, England, and it's voice acting with regional accents. See, as you, who's someone who isn't English, you don't realise just how bad of a thing that is.
Nope.
Yeah, exactly. You're lucky. You're a very lucky man. See, you Americans, you don't really do, like, regional accents properly.
I suppose not.
Yeah, you're American, or from, like, South America, South of America, where it goes all a bit...
I know what you mean.
Yeah, weird, and then everyone else just sounds the same. Unless Boston, where for whatever reason everyone's Irish. Did I miss something?
I don't really know what that's all about. I've been to Boston a few times, and it's weird, yeah.
Yeah, in England we do regional accents properly. Right? I can introduce you to people who you would maybe, if you're lucky, understand 1 in every 10 words. It's great. Yeah, anyway, so... Obviously, we'll do the next episode back on your channel, which is...
Tryinmorning. I'm sure you'll be able to find it through the recommended links that we'll have up in the description.
Yeah, exactly. If you're not subscribed at this point to Tryinmorning, I've no idea why you're not. You should. I mean, you sit through us jabbering on for, like, an hour and a half every 2 weeks. So... You should subscribe to him. He's cool in the hood. And I think that is, as film directors would say, an affair with someone else's wife and a rap as well.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, hooray, go us. Right, well, we'll see you on next episode on Tryinmorning's channel.
All right, take care, everyone.
Have fun and goodbye.